What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man Chaz Ellis once again, and I'm live. We're gonna talk about a whole lot of stuff here tonight. First of all, I want to get everybody to do their shout outs. You know what I'm saying? Say what's up to me. What's up, Tish? You came on here first, already starting out, showing love. Show up, show out. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. We're going to talk about a couple different things today. Then we're going to ask questions. We're going to just get our little discussions. You know how we do. RIP to the young brother. Passed away just recently. And we're going to talk about some of the fallout of that and things that people have been saying. Also, we're going to talk about why men seem to want women to pursue them nowadays and whether or not feminism has been a good thing overall or a bad thing. These are some of the things we're going to talk about today. I'm glad to have y'all with me. If you in the house, say what's up. Also, look, as y'all know, I have been doing this for 10 years. I work with people all over the world. I work with people in Europe. I work with people in the United States. I work with people in all parts of Africa. I work with people in, I guess I should have said all parts of North America, South America, Asia, Australia. Let me think. Everywhere. I work with people all over. That's where my perspective comes from. And the thing I've noticed over the years is there are really just common denominators that people think are specific to certain cultures. People will hit me up all the time. They're like, oh man, in my culture, we do this and people do this and people do that. And I'm like, bruh, people do that all over the world. You know what I mean? You may not know it because maybe you hadn't dealt with it, but people do that all over the world. What's up, in love? Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Much love. Much love. Thank you. All right. If you guys heard about what happened to PNB Rock, just say yes on the chat. Okay. If you've already heard about it, tell me on the chat. I'm gonna do like a brief synopsis of what happened. But I just want to know if any of you guys heard about it. If you didn't, it doesn't matter. If you didn't, it doesn't matter because I'm gonna give y'all a synopsis, and we're gonna talk about it in a broader sense of what happened and what's going on, and just in life in general. So it's not gonna be something that you had to have heard about the situation for the story to be able to make sense to you. So let me know if you heard about it. That's how we're gonna start out. Somewhat. Okay, so we'll go over it. Okay, here's what happened. Rapper PNB Rock. You may have heard his music, you may not have. Basically, he was at a chicken and waffles in South Central LA, and they tried to rob him there and ended up killing the guy. Now, a lot of the issue around this is because his girlfriend that he was with posted their location before the incident happened and he got shot and killed. A lot of people are really just going in on the girlfriend because of this. And it left me to think about something. And I don't usually get involved in talking about racial issues too often because PNB Rock is a black guy. But I don't usually get involved in talking about racial issues very often because most of the time it really leads nowhere. And it kind of end up being a thing to go back and forth. And we have more things in common a lot of times than we don't. But I think in this situation, it does need to be said. I've noticed that when black people get killed, it always becomes a situation where you pretty much get blamed or your friends get blamed for the fact that you got killed, you know? And it's crazy because I was looking at this situation. I was like, man, here's a person who goes to a chicken and waffles, whatever you want to say about the neighborhood, whatever you want to say about his girlfriend, posting a location. But there's a person who goes to a chicken and waffles to sit down and eat some damn food. Someone tries to rob him, kills him. And from that, people get it's his girl's fault because she posted his location. Then you have people who are coming back and saying, no, it's his fault. He shouldn't have been wearing jewelry. He shouldn't have been at that chicken and waffles. If Taylor Swift would have got shot and killed at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, I guarantee you none of the story would be about her location. None of the story would be about somebody, you know, what she was wearing, being at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. They like, man, Taylor Swift was trying to support the hood and somebody shot her. What's wrong with these people? Why would you do this to Taylor Swift when she was trying to support you? I guarantee you, nobody would be blaming Taylor Swift for wherever she went to or whatever she was doing. People would blame the person who should get blamed, and that's the killer. This is something that I've noticed. It's like the concept of black on black crime. You know, that is a version of blaming not only the victim, but it also blames the victim's neighborhood, the victim's family members, and everybody around for something, as if there's a such thing as black on black crime. It's like, nah, bro, it's people harming people, especially in an area where they can get away with it. I used to be a police officer, as some of y'all know. And if you kill somebody in the hood, the police always say, oh, well, you know, the hood doesn't do very much to help us find the killer and all that. I'm going to tell you the truth, man. The police do not do the same amount of effort, put in the same amount of effort to find the killer if it's in the hood. You know, it's like you're not going to put in the same amount of effort because it's not like, I'll say this, whether people will cooperate or not is not up to them. It's up to the police because there are snitches all over the hood. So that whole black people don't cooperate with the police, that's a bunch of bullcrap. There are snitches all over the hood. It's somebody snitching right now. There are people who are paid to snitch. There are people who snitch for free. There are people who snitch because they hate people. There are snitches all over the hood. The thing is, when somebody gets killed, especially if it's in a poor neighborhood, people automatically start blaming the person who got killed. Oh, he probably was gangbanging anyway, so nobody really cares. And for that reason, you usually don't get justice. So with the PNB Rock situation, do I think you should be out here posting your location? No. No. Especially if you're a person who's famous, you just shouldn't do that. It's not the move to let everybody know where you are. So no, I don't agree with you that you should do that. But if you go somewhere, like, because people always say we need to support businesses in the hood. For some of my people who come from other cultures, I want y'all to get to understand the pain and some of the annoyingness of being. People want you to support the community and support businesses in the community. But if you get robbed, killed, or harmed in any way at those businesses, people blame you for supporting the businesses. It's incredible. It's a tightrope that you have to walk. People gonna call you Uncle Tom if you don't support the businesses. If you don't come to the hood, if you come to the hood and something happens to you, everybody blames you. It's crazy. So yeah, it's a crazy situation. Something that could just be really difficult, you know. Let me see what you guys got. Anybody else got something to say about this situation? Have you been? What do you post your location when you go somewhere? Sorry, I had a couple of technical difficulties. Do you guys post your location when you go anywhere? How many people here post their locations? I'm just wondering because, as we talked about this, I want to know if there's anybody that does that. Okay, Tish says she does not. Yeah, I'm not a location poster either, just to be real. Yeah, and if I do post, I'm like Just Joy. I'm not posting until after I leave. I'm not posting anything until I'm gone. I had to be gone for I'll post a location somewhere when I've been gone for weeks. I don't like people to know my every move though. That's something my dad used to always tell me, don't let people know what you're gonna do, where you're gonna be, how long you're gonna be there, because everybody does not mean you good, Everybody does not mean you good. Everybody's not happy for you. Some people just downright don't like your ass. All right, we're going to move on to the next topic. And the next topic is, why do men want women to pursue them nowadays? This is a question that I've been getting from a lot of ladies. They're like, men seem like they want us to pursue them now. What's up with these dudes? They want to be women. What's going on? Well, I think what's happened over the years is, this is kind of a result of just the change in the dating dynamic. This is a result in the change in the dating dynamic. there are a lot of women, and it may not be you personally, but there are a lot of women out there in the world who, if they were in a relationship with somebody, or if they were dealing with somebody, and they weren't really feeling that dude like that, if he asked them out, they would get insulted and feel disrespected. This is a thing. You know, I have a lot of male clients and female clients, and I get to see both sides of a situation. And one of the biggest things I see is there are so many women nowadays, and like I said, you may not be one of them, but you got to understand that other people's actions does impact you. There are so many women out there nowadays who are actually upset if a guy that they're not interested in or that they don't like tries to pursue them. They're like, look, I don't like you, so you shouldn't pursue me. I don't like you. I don't find you attractive. You're not somebody that I want to be with. So therefore, I'm not going to pursue a relationship with you going forward. And because I don't want to pursue a relationship with you going forward, the fact that you even asked is an insult to me, and I feel disrespected. I'm about to go to HR if we work together. I'm about to put you on blast on the internet. Like, let's be real, ladies. How often have you seen somebody post DMs of somebody trying to holler at them, and maybe it wasn't even disrespectful or anything, but the guy just seemed lame? Come on now. Y'all get in the comment section and speak back to me. Talk back with me. How many times have you seen a woman do something like that, where you looked at the DMs, like, you know, because I see this on Instagram and stuff like that all the time, where people will post DMs and be like, look at this lame, try to get at me and blah, 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 blah. You see what I'm saying? People will do that all the time, and then they'll be like, why don't guys pursue me? It'll be the same people sometimes. Man, these guys, they feel like I need to pursue them. Well, look what you do to people who pursue you. Just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean that you could be mean or negative when the person tries to talk to you and then expect other people to want to talk to you. How many times do you see somebody turn a person down in the club in the meanest, cruelest way they possibly can? Well, you got to think, there's generations of people who have been doing that now. So now there are less and less men who are willing to ask women out. Someone is only thirsty if he's unattractive. Not exactly. If you're a coworker and you ask me out once, I turn you down nicely. Except you answer, don't try 5 million times. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, so she was like, if you're a coworker and you ask once, it's cool and I'll turn you down nicely, but don't ask 5 million times. I get that, but you also got to understand that there's some people, like I said, what other people do does affect us. If there are some people who say, if you ask me out once and I'm not attracted to you and I say no, I'm reporting your ass to HR. You know, I'm reporting your ass to HR tomorrow. Oh, that's what's up, Keith. Thank you. Hey, what's up, Jenny? I didn't see you in a minute. See, some people getting on and hadn't been on for a while. You know, there are people who will say, look, if I don't like you and you ask me out, I'm going to HR. I'm putting you on blast on the internet. I'm turning you down in the meanest way possible. So there are so many women who are out here doing that you got to look and you got to say, well, that's decreasing the number of people who want to pursue, who want to try to talk. Then you also got to remember with the pursuit thing that men are not in the same position that they need to pursue women as they once were. You know, if it was 1935, men had to pursue women a lot more so than they do now. Because back in 1935, women weren't just letting dudes smash off of a high or so on the internet. Like, most people want to date a small percentage of people. Like, if you look at Tinder and a lot of the dating apps, they do research that says everybody pretty much tries to date. Everybody tries to date pretty much 10 to 20% of the people on that particular app. So if everybody's trying to date 10 to 20% of the people on the app, what does that tell you? That tells you that 80 to 90% of the people on the app can't get dates. And 10 to 20% of the people who are on the app are being pursued by almost everybody. So that means they have a lot of options and they have a lot of ability to turn folks down. So if you're in that 10 to 20% that's getting all the attention, why would you pursue anybody? And a lot of times with men, it's a lot worse because women in general only like such a small group of guys. Be real with yourself and go back to high school or college or even work. If 100 dudes work at your job, be real. In most situations, all of the girls like 1, 2, maybe 5 or 10 of those dudes. If 100 dudes work at your job, all the women there like maybe it tops 10 of those guys. To the point where they would even only talk to those 10 guys. So because of that, a lot of guys don't really feel like they need to pursue women. And then you have so much freedom as far as how women move about sexually and all of that, that it's a situation where the same guys who attract women, the one that you would actually want to pursue you, is in a situation even in the real world where he just has so many women that's letting him smash, and a lot of women going around smashing the same dude. This is why you see guys that have 5, 6, 7 baby mamas. You know, it's been like that since forever, since the 70s and 80s it's been like that. But now it's kind of worse because you have social media and you have the ability for people to contact people so much easier than you could before. So, ladies, I want to know, how many of you have pursued a man before? Just let me know, have you ever pursued a man? Somebody said, nope, I just dropped my napkin, but don't pursue. Somebody said, yeah, I did once. Yes, my mistake. Okay, so for most of you, you have not pursued a man before. So most of you have not really dealt with the upfront rejection, because a lot of y'all said, hey, it was my mistake. I want you guys to think about this as you talk about men, and what you expect from them and what you want from a man. What you have to realize is, for most of you, you have not pursued a man before. And for some of you who have, you've only done it once. For a lot of you who have, you say, I did it one time, it didn't work out, and I never pursued another man again. So for a lot of women, you got to realize that you want somebody to do something that you don't even want to do. A lot of women expect men to do something that they don't even want to do, and don't give men the credit for how difficult it is. Look how you felt when you pursued somebody and they played you, or they, weren't really serious about you, you didn't feel like you got anything out of it. Look how you felt when you did that. And then think about that and multiply it by 20. Look how many times men may have to pursue women in order to even get one relationship. Especially if that person is not in a position where they're just, super attractive to women, or they're in a position where most women like them. They're just like a medium guy, or lower medium. Think about that concept, and it really will answer your question as to why a lot of men are not pursuing anymore. Because a lot of men get to the point in their life where they're like, I don't have to pursue anymore because I've gained a certain level of status where I don't have to do that. And now because of that, why the hell would I go out there and do that? Why would I go out here and pursue a bunch of women, or pursue a woman? Like, why would I go out and ask you out, take you places, go through all this process when I put myself in a position where I'm in such a small percentage, and there are plenty of women who will pursue me. There are plenty of women who will go out of their way to show interest. What makes it worth my while to pursue you? What makes it worth my while to ask you out if I'm the new dude at the office, I look good, I'm sexy, and 5 or 6 women are coming up to me and you're not? What makes it worth my while to pursue you? I don't think a lot of women think about that and say, wait a minute. Okay, we got Just Joy who says, I feel like a man will pursue a woman he really wants. Well, everybody's different. And then there's going to be different levels of pursuit. If you're not showing interest and a person is still pursuing you, that doesn't necessarily mean that they really want you. It just means that they have a reason not to be discouraged by you not showing interest. What you have to realize is most of the time, this is why women have the struggles that they have with men a lot of times. See, I may not become discouraged by you not showing an extreme amount of interest right up front, but that will be because I got 3 or 4 other chicks on deck who I'm smashing, and you can't affect my self-esteem. How can you affect my self-esteem if I try to talk to you, ask you out or something like that, and you're like, I'll think about it, maybe next week, I'm busy right now. How are you going to affect my self-esteem when you do that and I can just call 2 other girls? But if I'm a person who really does just show interest in one woman at a time, maybe, then that's going to hurt my feelings a lot more. And I'm going to feel a lot more like, what if it took me a lot to work up the courage to talk to you? And the only reason why it takes a guy a lot to work up the courage to talk to a girl is because he doesn't talk to enough women at one time. So unfortunately, and this is where a lot of women struggle, is normally what you want from a man is something you're only going to get from a man who has a lot of women. And now you're expecting that dude to drop all of those women when he gets with you. Like, a man can only take rejection when he's used to getting wins. I work with guys all day, every day. Okay? All day, every day. I work with women all day, every day. This is what I do. I see both sides of it. And over the years, the guys who are going to be able to take rejection at the highest level, so the guys who are going to have the most ability to pursue without being discouraged, are guys who have multiple women at any given time. You would think it'd be the other way around, but it's not. If a guy is constantly getting women, he is not going to take it personally when you say, I'm not interested, or you say, or maybe next time, or I'll talk to you in a couple weeks. He just gonna keep getting back to you because he might have a whole rotation of people that he does that same thing with. What's up, Chaz? Never realized until now, but actually guys are pretty sweet about it. Yeah, when you're not in their favor, that's true. Most of the time, guys actually take rejection. Not all of them, but you gotta think, if you look at how much guys get rejected over the years, most guys actually take it pretty well. If you just consider how much rejection they get. You say you were a virgin at the time and you were trying to get, and dude was trying to get something 3 days later. Hey, the thing that you run into when you deal with a lot of guys is most of the time the people that you're going to be more attracted to and be most likely to pursue, because this is what women got to also understand. You didn't pursue somebody with, like, women tell me their bad stories about guys they pursued. If they're being honest, everybody pursues the same dude. You didn't pursue some mid-level to lower level guy who didn't have a lot of girls around him, who didn't have a lot of popularity, who wasn't cool, who didn't have swag, none of those things. You didn't pursue like the chubby dude that worked at the cafeteria. You did not pursue that guy because you probably would have got different results. Most of them are like, man, every time I pursued a guy, he played me. Yeah, look at who you pursued. You pursued Future. I don't know why. You was pursuing Future, though. Let's be real. Most of the time, let's be real. She was like, he was fine. See, most of the time, let's be real. We gonna be real, right? Most of the time, when we pursue somebody, it's usually somebody that everybody else wants. Especially when we're talking about ladies. I'm just being real with y'all. You see guys who pursue mid-level women. See, you said the cafeteria. Come on now. There you go. They don't pursue the guy that work at the cafeteria. He's not getting the pursuit. It's usually, he's a lawyer, or he's a rapper, or he might even be a drug dealer. I'm just saying, somebody who is normally doing a little bit better. And if it's not a person with money, then the looks are like, because I was talking to a girl, I'm working with her, right? And she tells me, yeah, he don't even make money like that, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's not, okay, I understand that, so it's not about status or anything. I was like, so what does the dude look like? She's like, I'm like, what does he look like? Like, give like, what does he look like? When people say that he was really attractive or something like that, oh, well, yeah, he be modeling underwear and stuff like that. That's something. I was like, so is this dude muscular? Yeah. 6-pack? Yeah. Do most girls find him to be attractive? Yeah, I mean, yeah. So you pick somebody who was way more attractive than the average person. They're modeling for a reason. You said they're modeling underwear, meaning they're getting paid for what they look like. Professionals think the person is good looking. People who do that for a living think the person is good looking. So that means they're good looking amongst good looking people. And I've been in that industry. That's the cruelest industry you'll ever think of in your life. Like, I've seen them tell people that really, like, flat stomach or whatever, you are fat, get the hell out of here. I've seen them talk to people like that. And worse. I mean, I wouldn't even tell you some of the stuff, but terrible. I mean, they'll talk to you like a dog. My point is, if you're dealing with somebody who's in that industry, I knew when she said this person's in that industry, I'm like, come on, you went with one of the top 1% good looking people in the world. Come on. Because in order to do that, you generally have to be somebody where you are one of the top 1% people to stand out enough to get the job. There has to be a niche that you're that attractive to. So I'm like, come on, man. You just picked the best looking person you could. Pursued them talking about, oh, well, he really ain't got a good job right now. He working off and on in that industry. But come on, you went and bragged to your friends that you was dating somebody in model underwear. You probably showed a couple of his little pictures and everything. Let's call it what it is. And I think a lot of times people get upset about pursuing and it not working out. Especially a lot of ladies I talk to, because I work with a lot of women all over, and I talk to y'all, and y'all be like, I pursued him, I did this for him, I did that for him. I'm like, yeah, look who you did it for. You act like you doing this for just regular dudes. You act like you going out of your way for some regular dude. You going out of your way for like the most top-notch dude you can find. There's nothing wrong with that. But you got to understand that you're not going to have the best results consistently. Because nobody gets the best results consistently. It's like, I talked to dudes about this too. Man, I bought her this, I did that for her. So you went and got one of these IG models with 550,000 subscribers, and you thought you thought it was gonna go like that? You ain't got the girl. She just got her body done. She looking to get a return on that investment, brother. You know what I mean? Not to be all old-fashioned, but women used to know how to give green lights. Thus, men would be permission to pursue. Yeah, I think that women did that a lot more often. But you got to remember, there are now women who give false green lights too. Because I'm not saying that it's like a huge conspiracy against men. I'm not even saying that. I'm not even saying a lot of women do it. But you got to understand, like, there are women now who make a guy think that she's interested in him just so she can screenshot. There are a lot of women who want somebody to come up to them just so they can turn them down. I've witnessed it. I talk to people who tell me that they do. Look, man, I want to get attention sometimes. So it decreases the number of men who want to put themselves out there. All right, I want somebody to give me a good pursuit story. Somebody hit me with a good pursuit story for the group. Like, what happened that was just bananas? Let's get the likes up. Let's also get the donations up. Somebody who's in here who hadn't done it yet, let's kick in. Let's make this. Let's keep it live. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it live. Show love. Thanks for the like. Let's keep it going. Hit that super chat button. Hit the stickers. Do it all. Okay, we're gonna go into feminism. People have been asking me this for years in different ways. I've talked about it a little bit, but I got a point blank question. It was like, is feminism good or bad? I'm going to tell you what I think about feminism, guys, ladies, gentlemen, everything else. I'm going to tell you what I think about it. Here's what I think about a lot of things. Feminism is like everything. And here's what I mean. And I'm going to use integration as an example. So you take integration, right? There's a small group of people that integration really helped. There's another small group of people that integration really. Then you got most people who it had a small effect, if any, on like a net effect on their life. And that's how that's pretty much how feminism, especially this new wave of feminism, that's pretty much what it's done. So if you take integration, right, there are plenty of people who wouldn't have a job if integration, they wouldn't have the job they have now if it were not for integration. There are people who lost their jobs, lost their businesses, lost generational wealth due to integration. Look it up for those of you that don't know. This is a real thing. Feminism works the exact same. Thank you, Jenny. Feminism works the exact same. There are plenty of people who wouldn't be the CEOs of a company, wouldn't be a lawyer, wouldn't be a doctor if it was not for the feminist movement. They would not have some of these jobs that they have, and they wouldn't have some of these opportunities that they have. Conversely, some people lost some opportunities. Some people have to go to work instead of being able to stay at home with their children. Some people would have got married when they were 19 years old, but they're 40 and they haven't gotten married. Some people didn't want to work. Some people never wanted to work a day in their life, and that opportunity to not do that has been taken away from them by the feminist movement. And then you got some people who are pretty much doing what they would have done pre-feminist movement. Some people are teachers, some people are nurses, some people are secretaries, some people are, some people have jobs that are pretty much women were already doing. And then some people have jobs that women were not doing. You get what I'm saying? So when you look at the feminist movement, it's all about net result. And for most people, the net result isn't better or worse in terms of where they are. It's just what is done culturally. And whether it's going to be negative or positive depends on where you are. If you're Beyonce or Oprah Winfrey, feminist movement has been positive. You are the winner of the feminist movement. If you are working 2 jobs, 35 years old, never been married, none of your jobs, obviously you're working 2 of them, so none of them are careers, and you are good looking, you lost the feminist movement. The net result was bad for you. If you're looking for somebody who makes a lot more money than you to marry, and you don't want to be in a 50-50 relationship where you do everything they do and they do everything you do, you have lost in the feminist movement. You're taking an L. There's no other way to put it. You're taking an L. You are losing in the feminist movement. Is it good or bad? It depends on where you're sitting. If you're a dude and you want to get a good job, marry a woman, take care of her, take care of your kids, and just have one woman from the time you were in high school until y'all grow old and die together or whatever the hell. If that's what you wanted to do, you've lost in the feminist movement. If you wanted to get some money, get a business, get balling and all that kind of stuff, and smash as many women as you possibly could until you die, feminist movement is the best thing that ever happened to you. If you just want to stay in good shape, look good, have a little bit of money in your pocket, and run around and knock off, 10, 20 girls at a time, the feminist movement is the best thing that ever happened to you. It's a dream come true. It's a blessing. So it really just depends on where you are in the situation, what you're trying to accomplish, and that's basically whether it's a good or bad thing. It's going to be based on where you are. Do you look at your life and say, if it was 1955, basically I could have the same life I have now? Or do you look at your life and say, if it was 1955, I could probably have a better life than I have now? Or is it you look at it and say, look, if it was 1955, there's no way I could be doing what I'm doing right now? It really just depends, A lot of people feel like on one end, it's worked out better. And and this is why I say for most people, it really doesn't. It's a wash. It hasn't really, there's no real net gain or loss. Because most people's situation is, on one end, I feel like the feminist movement has helped me, and on another, and here's where it hurt me. That's where most people kind of lay in that situation. Like, here's the good that I got from it, here's the bad. It's like integration. For most people, it's like, Yeah, a lot of the successful people left the black neighborhood. So if you're still stuck in, especially in a poor black neighborhood, not obviously the rich black neighborhood, people still live there. But if you live in a poor black neighborhood, integration probably had somewhat of a negative effect on you. But if you don't live in a poor black neighborhood, then you're kind of like, here's the positive of it, then I can move to another neighborhood. The negative of it is I don't live around a lot of black people anymore. But, I can get a job I couldn't get before. The negative of it is the sense of community might be gone. Kind of 50-50, you know what I mean? There's no net gain or loss. And that's what a lot of people run into even with the feminist movement. It's like, for a lot of us, there's no net gain and no net loss. But for the people who got left behind in the integration, they got screwed. For the people who got left behind in the feminist movement, screwed completely. I will say this. The biggest loser in the feminist movement is women who are really attractive that don't want to work at a job. You took the biggest loss because there would have been even more money out there for you. Ladies, let me know. Do you think the feminist movement, guys too, do you think the feminist movement has helped or hurt you? Have you been a winner in the feminist movement, or do you feel like you've been a loser in it? Or that you just didn't get anything out of it? Where do you feel you are? Princess Tiffany says, it's hurt pretty women big time. Yeah, I mean, pretty women just took a big loss in the feminist movement. I will even go as far as to say, even if you like to work, I'll say even if you like to work. I could be wrong, but the events that happened in the early 1900s to 1960s for black women, the traditional women was capped because they were always working. If you talk from 1900 to most women who work outside of the home, it's 50-50 depending on where you are. Because all black women didn't work outside of the home. Some did. Statistics on black women in the 1900s to 1960s are a lot of times not there, or not complete, or not even accurate. You really have to say, like, you have to kind of use a lot of anecdotal evidence, because they didn't really keep stats on us in any real way back then. I'm just being real, a lot of stuff about us, because like, look at a lot of people who were born in 1900 that don't even have a birth certificate, just think about that. That's how much they don't even care about us. But because a lot of women, especially in my family, didn't work during that time period, didn't even have license, were supported by their men. Like, if you look at my family in our generations, what basically happened was from those women from the 1920s to the 1960s, they were generally taken care of by the men in our family. But I'm the child of somebody who was born to someone in their 40s. Like, my grandma was born in the 19-teens. So their situation, and a lot of my grandparents and my great uncles and great aunts, their situation was a little different because it's older. And in the past, a lot of black women didn't work, but a lot of them did, of course. Yes, a lot of them did. But there's a difference between what you're talking about, though, as far as I'm gonna get into this a little bit. In love, I want to get into this a little bit, because this is where we do have to make a racial distinction in terms of the feminist movement. For black women, black women have benefited. It seems like they benefited a lot off the feminist movement, but they've benefited really the least. And here's why I say benefited the least. Because the way the feminist movement ended up going, it kind of ran concurrently with the civil rights movement, which is fine if you're not a black woman. But if you're a black woman, it's kind of sucks, because you're involved in a battle with a group of people that have nothing to do with you. Like, the black woman can't have a battle with her man for supremacy. You know what I mean? Or a battle with her man for equality in a system where neither one of them have any real power. So where white women had the feminist movement, it was kind of a situation where their man was in charge and they were trying to become equal with their own man. Black women cannot have that battle with their man because what level, if you got equal with your man, y'all already was both at the bottom. If you're having this battle in 1925, 1930, you're talking about two people who can't even drink at a fountain. You're talking about two people who can't get in the pool. So even fast forward in the 1950s, you're still talking about people who can't go into a hotel room, can't drink at a fountain, can't get in the pool, can't get certain jobs. So there's absolutely no battle that you can have with each other. That's where I think minorities in general, getting it, but black people in particular, the feminist movement for black women was premature. And that's why you kind of are where you are in that situation. It's premature because you're in a situation where white women are always going to get a little bit more out of the feminist movement. And they're not even getting everything they want to get out of it. They're not even getting everything they want to get out of it. But they have a better chance of getting something because at least they're arguing with somebody that's on top. You're not. So your fight is really for racial equality. Even though you might be like, I'm a black woman, I got it more difficult than a black man. No, you don't. Y'all, it's the same. It's the same in different ways. There are still men who value pretty women. I think women have to know their audience. Well, I don't think anybody's saying that there's men that don't value pretty women. What I'm saying, what I think most of us are saying is pretty women just kind of had a little bit more easy street back in the day when there were just men in charge. Let's be real. You know, if you were good looking back in the day, you could get a free ride. It's so much harder to get a free ride now. Like, yeah, you could do OnlyFans, but that's degrading. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about a degrading free ride where you a stripper or in a sex industry. That's not a free ride. That's not free. And you could marry just a rich dude back in the day. It was so much easier to do that because and not even rich. The guy didn't have to be rich because of the way that the economy was set up. Like, let's think about our grandparents. I'm gonna go back to my grandparents. My grandparents were able to buy a house on one regular ass salary. My grandfather wasn't rich. He wasn't no baller. He's working most of the time in a steel mill. But that was enough for them to buy a house that's like, $500,000-$600,000 nowadays that you'd have to go into debt for 30 years. Nowadays, they were able to have that house, raise their family. You see what I'm saying? These are things that you cannot do now. You can't just be like, oh, I'm a pretty woman. I'm good looking. I can get me a man. I can just raise my little family, live in a nice house, don't have to work, all that kind of. You cannot do that now. There are not very many people who are going to be able to do that because there's not very many people who make a salary that they can support a family on by themselves. So even if you get somebody and everything seems to be working out, it's still you're going to have to work. You can't just like, I'm pretty, so I'm good. It doesn't work like that anymore. Okay, I'm not going to say your name. Was born March 1993. I'm a stay-at-home mother, girlfriend for 5 years. I've never had to work, and have been with black men. With a black man now, and he takes care of everything. Oh yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people who out here living that lifestyle. Absolutely. I think there's a racial and economic aspect. Oh my God, I never thought about this. I think black men and women can have the argument, but probably it gets real ugly. I don't think it should get real ugly because I think one of the things I've noticed about this, like you guys notice, I never get into this. Black women do this, black men do that. I never get into these arguments with people because the reality is, I think it turns ugly because when black people complain about each other, they usually complain about stuff that people do in every single culture. Now, I get to work with people from every culture. So every time they tell me something, only black women do this, only black men do that, it's something that people do in every culture. Even when you go as far as to look at fatherlessness in the black community. I'm going to tell you guys something. Let me say something. This is the thing I have an issue with, even with statistics. When you look at fatherlessness in the black community, right? My brother would be a part of the 70% fatherless statistics, right? So my brother is fatherless and I am not. according to the way that they keep these statistics. Now, my brother and I have the same father, same person. My father just recently died, as y'all know. But my brother was born a year, not even quite a year, but I think like 6 months. And then my parents got married. And then I was born like a year and a half later. So technically, the way that they keep these statistics, because my brother was born out of wedlock, he is fatherless and I'm not. Now, we are living in the same house, growing up with the same, but statistically, he's fatherless. But if our parents get divorced, which this is where the racial element comes in. It's like, this is what these people are most likely to do, and this is what these people are most likely to do. So this is how we'll compile the statistic. If you get married and get a divorce or separated, then we'll still count as though you were born, you have a father, and these people don't. See, I grew up in the suburbs around a lot of white folks. And I happen to know that there's just as many of them with their parents not living in it, both parents not living in the house, as there are black people. So I think a lot of times when black people get into these arguments with each other about black men doing this and black women doing this, when we get into these arguments and I just listen to them, I'm like, everybody does that. This is not a cultural thing. This is a who you decide to date thing. This is a relationship thing. It's not as cultural. It's not even as country cultural as you think. I talk to people from the Middle East where people are like, oh, these women are all docile in the Middle East and or Asia. Or no, they're not. No, they're not. People are people all around the world, bruh. People are who they are all around the world. So, I mean, that's just something to say. Oh, to be considering family. I'm not talking about degrading free rides. Well, you're right. Women in one family. Yeah, I just think, nowadays the problem with being pretty, it just doesn't get you what it gets you at such an early age anymore. It just doesn't get you what it used to get you. It used to be worth way more. It still has some value, but it's just not worth what it used to be. Because now people can get money and then they can get pretty. You gotta remember, they got plastic surgery now, so that's even messing it up a little bit. Now a lot of women, they go out there and get on OnlyFans and then start looking good because they got money to spend. I'm just saying. All right, anybody got any questions for me before I get out of here? Whatever y'all got for me, let me know. What do you got for me? I appreciate everybody for coming out. Thank y'all. Y'all know, God willing, the creek don't rise. I'll be back on next Friday. Thank y'all for coming out, though. Let me see what y'all got for me. Why do you think it's a sad change that pretty doesn't get us far? I think it's a sad change because I think anytime somebody lose out on anything is sad. I think, hell, I wish everybody could get far with whatever it is they have. I do. I wish it was like that. Like you could just pop out and whatever you got going for you was good enough. Like I wish you could still get far with pretty and then you could still get far with smart. And you could, now that you can get further with smart. I wish those things could exist at the same time. I want everybody to win. I hate to see that you got pretty chicks out here in the gutter. And I hated to see that, people that are not the most attractive get left out in the cold. I hate both of those things. I wish things could all happen at the same time. What would I do as a woman who wants to be taken care of? Just work on my skills to attract men that have the finances to be able to take care of me. Work on my physical appearance. Just work on how I cooperate with men. Get around people who have the money to take care of me. Work on my network. I actually did this finding and securing wealthy men. You should take a look at that masterclass that I did a while ago. That'll get you right if you're trying to get taken care of. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. Do I have a lack mentality? I don't know if you mean that. I do have somewhat of an abundance mentality. I believe there's enough out here. I believe there's a lot out here. But do I believe that? But there's always going to be somebody going to take an L. I mean, that's just the way there. I believe there's enough out here for everybody. But I believe that there's always going to be a system in place that's not going to let people get what's out here. So it's like this. Say there was a table and it had all the food that everybody in the room could eat. This is kind of how life is. Everybody could be eating for this food from this table. I guarantee you somebody's going to get in front of that table and get another group of people in front of that table, and they're going to stop you from being able to, they're going to stop everybody from being able to eat as much as they want. They're going to eat a whole bunch, and then they're going to just parcel out the rest of the food to everybody. So I think life is abundance, but I do think there's always going to be somebody in control that's going to make it to where you have to figure out how to navigate around the system to get as much as you want. Okay, let's see. My man I've been with gets very upset when I mention job offers like SAG-AFTRA or owning my LLC. They are not happy but want to take care of it all. Okay, so you're dealing with a person that they probably don't. Okay, I'm looking at the picture too. Okay, so you're probably dealing with somebody who want to take care of you. They're not really supporting your career situation. This is gonna happen a lot. If you get somebody who will kind of be in a situation where they will take care of you, some people feel like if you could do it on your own, you wouldn't want to be with them anymore. This is a balance that you have to work with if you're dealing with a person who's willing to take care of you. Most people who are willing to take care of you are also not going to be as supportive. I'm just keeping it. They're not going to be as supportive of your job. People who are going to be as supportive of your job are often not going to be willing to take care of your ass. You know what I mean? That's kind of how it goes. It's rough. So yeah, it's going to be hard to get somebody that's got a balance of both. It's damn near impossible. Somebody who supports your work, is happy about your work, and willing to take care of you. That's rough. Right, we said that we have to figure out how to navigate around the system. Yeah, you just got to work your way around the system. That's just the way it goes. It is always going to be something in place to stop you from doing everything you want, but you can work your way around it and get there. I'm just saying, everybody's not going to be able to do that. That's just the reality of it. All right. Glad I was able to help some of you guys out. Thank you for coming out. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do so. I'll be back on next Friday. God willing, the creek don't rise. Once again, it's your man, Chaz Ellis. Peace.